I just want to say a quick hello to everybody and let everyone know what's going on with the court case. As you know, we recently had a court appearance in probate, and that date was because my father's will was on the docket. Now, the issue is that's a photocopy of a will I found. A lot of the original paperwork was plundered. My stepsister, she went into the house and plundered it. She took away, there's a drawer full of legal documents, and she emptied the drawers out. And then she also took my father's two journals. What she did immediately, she started calling people in the church because she was under the mistaken notion that my father owned the church. This is personal property. So she's trying to close down the church, liquidate the assets so she could cash out the church. And of course, that's her plan for the farm too. So she has her brother. So her brother, this is Michael, is trying to be named the executor of the estate so he can seize all the property. And my father had this property, I guess, going on 40 years. He built this house, poured his life into this, for the family, as a refuge for the whole family. And he had a will. She knows she had a will, that he had a will. Teresa's admitted it. So I've collected all the evidence. So what happened? Dad dies of COVID. Marianne dies a week later, and she needs to take away the will. Teresa and Michael do, so they can seize the estate from themselves. Because their idea is, Dad dies, everything goes to Marianne. Marianne dies, everything goes to them. And there's the will out there, so she takes the will. She's admitted it. She goes, well, I don't think the will is valid for this, that, or the other reason. That's not for her to say. That is to be determined to the court through probate. So she's got the will. She doesn't look at it as beneficial to her, so she's trying to prevent the will from being executed. And she has this shady lawyer. Was it Griffin? I'll put his picture and his name up there. A lowlife, corrupt lawyer who's her partner in crime, basically. He knows full well what she's done. And so he's a thief. He's a liar and a thief. So I'm not going to sit back. So they put us in mediation. Oh, we want you to, we're going to mediate. There's nothing to talk about until she returns the stolen property. So my dad kept a diary. I guess we got his diaries going back all the way to the Vietnam War. He'd do a journal entry every day. She took his journals so that she could call and harass church members in her scheme to seize the church. So, all she cares about is the cash out, right? She's going to cash out. She has no ability to take the church over. The church is an independent entity. She didn't know that. And but she's trying to take the farm to cash that out. And all my worldly possessions are there. It's not right. I should not stand for this. To have everything my father, he poured his life into and worked for. And, I helped him. I gave him, when he bought the property, I put a home for us that I lived in. And then he built the house up. It's not even finished. There's some issues with it as well. But who's heard it to swoop in there and exploit this tragedy for her financial aggrandizement? And where's she been? She wouldn't even see or visit, hardly talk to her mother for like 5-10 years at a time. And now when there's something in it for her, she shows up. So she's going, I'm taking her to court. I'm taking her to court for the burglary and for her being in possession of these, the journals. The last 2 years of my father's life. She needs to give those back to me. She doesn't care about anything but herself and the money. She care about her mom. She care about my father at all. What are these journals to her? My dad's reminiscences, his last 2 years of his life. And she's just, steals that just to exploit it for the information in the back so she could harass people. And then all of his legal documents, drafts the will, which she has spoken of and described what she has. So she's going to have to, I've got the evidence collected. I'm going to present it in court, and she's going to have to give an answer for what she did. So I think I'm going to win this. But she could be given a court order to surrender the will and the other stolen documents, the journals. I'm seeking monetary damages from her as well. So if she gets a court order, she's ordered to surrender these documents and in these articles and items that she stole. The judge has the right to do that. You will return the property which you took, which you have no right to. So, and then she's caused damages to us, the family, by her theft. So she's going to be confronted in court for what she did, and I'm presenting the evidence. I have a good amount of evidence, but I'm going to make an appeal in this video. There are witnesses who were there when the burglary took place. And, of course, I've documented it. So I'd appreciate some of his family members. All right, we have this little... I don't want to have conflict with anybody. So let's call a truce for court, at least. Do you appreciate her stealing our father's journals like this? Wouldn't you like to be able to look down at Dad's last year and his reminiscences and reflections, last years of his life, that she doesn't really care about at all? It's just sadistic and cruel. That she why? What has he ever done to her? What have we ever done to her? Nothing. It's not right. It's just greed. So, I need statements. Like I said, I think I have a good case with all the evidence I accumulated, but as much evidence as I can get, the better. So if you were there when the burglary took place, and several people were, I need the sworn statement about what happened, what you saw. And the other thing is people in the congregation who were called by Teresa when she was trying to close down the church and sell it for money. I need you to write down what happened, what she said. And any other witnesses who saw her or heard her speak about her taking these documents and her motivations. So we're going to go to court, and I feel good about it. I've accumulated a lot of good evidence, but I could use more. So please write up a sworn statement and send it to me so that we can present it in court. I cannot, in good conscience, go through this. I'm not going to go through however probate goes. I mean, that would be immoral and wrong for me not to confront her, to allow myself to be victimized. So I get burglarized, and my father's that I'm entitled to. Now, I'm not talking about just merely the will, the journals and other things, documents that she has no business to having, no interest in. She's returned that and everything. Why does she take these things? So she could, execute this scheme. So if you're out there, and you're a witness when the burglary took place, or if you were contacted by Teresa, or if you heard her, because like I said, she's confessed to it. If you're one of the witnesses of her talking about her being in possession of the will, and I do have statements already, where she's admitting to being in possession of the will, and why she thinks it shouldn't be executed. And her lawyer perjures himself in court, lying, and he knows damn well. So this is a shady, corrupt lawyer, Mr. Griffin, and we cannot allow these people to get away with this. And like I said, if we have to liquidate everything, I have to be able to say, in court, this woman, she stole these documents so she could, so she could steal something even bigger, right? She wants to sell the 16 acres of my father's farm so she can pocket the money. Probably just burn through it in a 6-month bender. So pray about this. Pray that justice would be done, that should be held answerable, that we get a court order that she'd surrender these documents back to the rightful owner, me, so that they can be entered into court before the probate judge, so that their will be honored and the will be executed. And, mediation. I'm not going to be victimized anymore. I'm fighting back. I'm not going to let her get away with this. She's going to be confronted with what she did. This is the perfect setting in court. Her and Michael are going to be confronted for this theft, and Stage one, steal the legal documents to hide them so that they can just carry out a bigger theft so they can, profit off their mother's death, which I firmly believe, and I should have some evidence for this as well, that Marianne, sadly, she didn't deserve to go that way, was euthanized by her own daughter, her own family members, against her will. And they wouldn't let me go in there to see her because fundamentally I would not allow harm to come to Marianne if I could prevent it. Unfortunately, they sent, I went there to go see her. They sent the security. Oh, you're not, we don't want you here. Well, why not? The family doesn't want you here. I am the family. Oh, no, we determined somebody else is the family. Unless I was deployed or, overseas, I would see Marianne and Dad pretty much every day. And all Teresa cares about is what's in it for her. And it's not right. So pray that justice be done. I'm asking you to pray. Number 2, all witnesses, please write up a sworn statement and send me the information. I have things documented. If you need, I don't remember the exact date or time or circumstances. I have a general idea, a vague memory of what happened. I have the dates and times and circumstances. So just say what you remember the best you can. And as far as dates and things, don't worry about that. I have that information. Everything's documented. So that's what's going on. When we have a court date, I'll put that out. So family members who are mad about whatever, it's time to put that aside. Let's declare a truce. Write up a sworn statement of what you know, what you saw, where you at, what happened, and send it to me so we can have it before the judge in court. So thank you, and God bless you.